Hey now, what's going on, everybody? We are back with another episode of IoT Nuggets. I'm Doug Cohen, and I'm here joined as usual by my esteemed co-host, Steve Brummer.
I got a raise.
You got promoted, Steve Brummer, everybody. I love giving you. That's my favorite part of the show, is giving you a round of applause.
Oh, great! That's it.
When we start out,
a round of applause of one.
You've earned it, my friend. You've earned it.
That's it.
So thanks for joining once again. It's IoT Nuggets, where we talk about things going on in the Internet of Things and the IoT space, and strategies and topics in IoT deployments. And want to remind you, a little housekeeping as we like to do, to go to bhiotgroup.com, the website, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on LinkedIn, and two other things. If you're a subject matter expert in the IoT space and you feel like you could contribute to one of these IoT Nugget shows, let us know.
And can do it in under 3 minutes.
In under 3 minutes. So far, the guests have been pretty well behaved, I'd say.
Yeah, well trained.
Well trained. We've kept them in line. And then the other piece is, if you are thinking about expanding your IoT portfolio and IoT deployment of your own, let these folks know, and the IoT Group will have a 30-minute consultation with you to go over some strategies and figure out what makes sense for you. So with all that being said, let's tackle today's topic. Today we're talking about SIM management and why you shouldn't build your own platform to handle it. There are so many SIMs now communicating with the internet, with the network. Everything's going wireless, so there's a lot going on. Right, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started in the M2M business, we had Jasper. That was the only provider of some kind of SIM management program. And once they got acquired by Cisco, it opened up the door for so many other companies to be able to come in and start to do that SIM management capabilities. But SIM management is extremely important to everything that we do. When you think about the millions and billions of SIMs that are needed in the IoT space, somehow they got to be managed. The data usage, the usability of a device is all controlled by that SIM. And so controlling it through some kind of platform is absolutely critical. You do have companies like Symmetric and IoT-M and Telenor and Elastic M2M that are out there that have really great platforms that are usable by almost everybody, and it also controls everything related to how much data versus your data plan that you have out there. So it's absolutely critical to rolling stuff out as a provider in the IoT space.
So there's two things that come to mind for me, just that I've seen in the news when I think about SIM management, and whether it's just the number of SIMs and how everything's going wireless. Like an article I just saw the other day about how Apple might be considering getting into the vehicle game, and that vehicles are becoming more and more just big computers on wheels, and they're all going to be connected. So that's one piece. And then the other one was, when you're talking about COVID and supply chain and disruptions that have been happening worldwide, I think about the Suez Canal, and you want to know, where your disruptions might be happening in supply chain and tracking your assets. All of these things, there's so much management going on with SIMs. I mean, those are probably two prime examples of what we're talking about, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the idea of a connected vehicle or connected car, the amount of information that's going in and out of that 5G enabled future car, whether it's autonomous or not, the amount of data needed to drive that vehicle is going to be huge, which is why a lot of 5G people are so overwhelmingly happy about the idea of 5G and connected car. But there's SIMs involved inside that connected car. You look at the amount of data, not only for the vehicle-to-vehicle programs, but the vehicle maintenance programs and the infotainment and all the other amounts of data that are coming from all the sensors that are being built in a car, then someone's going to be able to have to control that SIM and understand how much data is being used, because someone's paying for that airtime. Someone's paying for that data. So who is it and how much it is and what it's doing is extremely critical. And then the other part that you brought up as far as the supply chain and asset tracking of vaccines and everything related to COVID, huge new market that we always knew healthcare was a huge opportunity, but with the onset of COVID for the last 18 months, that asset management, asset tracking is huge. And that's a really big, important part of what SIM management capabilities are out there. So you know where that vaccine is, you know where that shipment is, you know where those needles and syringes are all throughout the process. But that is being done through a SIM management capability on cellular networks.
And that's not going to go away just because
No.
the pandemic is starting to, hopefully get close to an end, or at least get to the point where.
Yeah, I mean, it's ending, but that in our lifetime, we're going to get more of this somewhere along the line. And so how better prepared are we going to be with the trackability, utilizing the IoT capabilities in vaccine tracking, which then goes back to SIM management.
There you go. Way to tie it together, Steve.
That's why I get paid the little bucks, Doug.
That's what I hear. You may have to talk to upper management about that.
Yeah, well, the executive producer, John Hubler, we don't know how big that checkbook is. So
the executive producer, that's right. So, and speaking of executive producing, we're going to actually probably have a couple of the vendors that are involved with SIM management joining us on one of these nuggets. And the executive producer, as they say, is efforting that as we speak.
Yep. We're gonna bring some friends and family members onto the show as we continue to do, especially around a subject like this, which is very critically important to the overall strategies around IoT. So we're looking at a couple different surprise guests.
Surprise guests. I love it. So thanks everybody for joining. What's that?
Keep them hanging.
Keep them hanging, exactly. Keep them wanting more.
That's
and
right.
So make sure that you tune in. Make sure you follow us on LinkedIn. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Visit bhiotgroup.com. Let us know if you want to join the show, if you're a subject matter expert, and give these folks a shout if you want a 30-minute consultation to talk about your IoT portfolio and any deployment strategies you're thinking about. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Doug.
And thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time on IoT Nuggets.